On March 6, 2020, the first case of the coronavirus was confirmed in Pennsylvania. Centre County confirmed its first case of coronavirus 14 days later on March 20th, and Penn State confirmed its first case on March 24th. Now, over 13,000 cases and 200 deaths, and 1 year later, we take a look back at how the virus has played out this past year in Centre County. As case totals in the county rose, Penn State University made the decision on March 11, 2020 to close its doors and eventually came to the decision to complete its semester online. Centre County schools were closed on April 9th through the end of the academic year, and on April 16th, an 89-year-old man was the first Centre County resident to die from COVID-19. As case totals continued to spike, Centre County was designated into the yellow phase on May 8th, signaling a concern for coronavirus spread. As spread amongst the community began to slow, Centre County moved back into the green phase on May 29th. By June 1st, 154 cases and 6 deaths had been recorded in Centre County. An announcement was made by Penn State that its fall 2020 classes would be back in person with a hybrid class model, limiting the amount of students attending in-person instruction. In early July, a 21-year-old male became the first Penn State student to die of the coronavirus, as Pennsylvania leaders ordered masks to be mandatory when leaving the home. By the end of July, Centre County had recorded over 300 coronavirus cases and saw an outbreak in 3 Centre County long-term care facilities. In early August, the State College Borough passed a law requiring mask wearing and severely limiting gathering sizes. On August 21st, the governing body over high school sports in Pennsylvania announced it would allow member schools to proceed with fall sports at their own discretion, just as Centre County passed 400 total COVID-19 cases. Penn State's fall classes began as originally scheduled on August 24th, bringing many students from across the country back into Centre County. Local school districts follow, opening their doors and returning to in-person learning on the 25th of August. By early September, Penn State's total number of COVID-19 cases nearly doubled, boosting the total number of infected on campus to 416, forcing the university to weigh a potential move to switch to online learning. On September 14th, more than $10,000 in fines were handed out to the organizers and the facility that welcomed more than 2,700 people to Happy Valley for a 3-day wrestling tournament in College Township. On September 25th, a state-run free drive-through COVID-19 testing facility was opened with a capacity of 500 tests per day. The facility opened in response to Centre County having the state's highest testing positivity rate. Throughout the month of September, coronavirus cases exploded in Centre County. 2,219 cases of coronavirus were confirmed during September, nearly 10 times the cases as the previous month. On October 6th, the state-run free drive-through COVID-19 testing facility extended its service as Centre County continued to have the state's highest testing positivity rate. On October 9th, Mount Nittany Health activated its COVID-19 surge capacity plan in response to an influx of patients. On October 25th, the State College Police Department confirmed an investigation into multiple large gatherings reported at downtown apartment complex as the Penn State Nittany Lions played their season opener. By the end of October, the total number of COVID-19 cases rose to over 4,000. As November began, cases continued to soar in long-term care facilities in Centre County. On November 19th, it was announced that due to high demand, Centre County's free COVID-19 testing site would remain again open and extend its testing through December. At the same time, Pennsylvania's Secretary of Health announced a new order requiring those traveling to Pennsylvania from another state and Pennsylvania residents who are returning home from out of state to have a negative test within 72 hours of arrival or self-quarantine for 14 days. Residential instruction at Penn State concluded on November 20th. Students were encouraged to return home and stay home. By the end of November, the total cases of COVID-19 rose to 6,387. By early December, hospitalizations and death rates due to COVID-19 continued to set records locally and across the state. On December 11th, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued the first emergency use authorization for a COVID-19 vaccine. Shortly after, on December 18th, Mount Nittany Health administered its first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. By the end of 2020, the total cases of COVID-19 in Centre County rose to 8,977, with December marking the highest monthly totals. Through January, COVID-19 hospitalizations began to decrease from their December highs, and county-funded testing continued to be available. On February 15th, Penn State welcomed students back on campus as vaccination rates peaked in the county at just over 1,500 doses administered in one day. Now, 1 year later, Centre County has surpassed 13,000 COVID cases and recorded over 200 deaths.